All right, let's do it. It's already like damn 12 o'clock.
Yeah. It's 1 o'clock for me. What are you talking about?
Whatever.
You're lucky I got home early.
Early.
Yeah, early.
Gotcha.
Welcome everyone to the Linux Tech and Gaming Show. You know that show that only has one show a month?
That's because we're so good. We only have to do it once a month.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, we're like a ladies' period. Whatever.
But go check us out at our website, which totally busted. Totally busted.
Nah.
You'll have to edit this out, Osiris, or not. Just leave it in. Like, where the hell is this damn thing?
What the fuck is going on in your OBS?
I'm trying to select the thing because it didn't pick it up. But yeah, go to the website, linuxtechandgaming.com, and click on the stuff. Click on all the stuffs.
Yes, especially those Osiris.
Yeah, see,
You're still not listed on that.
No,
What?
No, I'm still not listed on there.
Oh,
yeah,
shit. I thought I fixed that.
I went in to put it in there. Nope. No, I'm still not listed. We still have a Ubu on there, but no System. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
Hey, you got your own permissions now.
Professor.
Yeah, you don't have your tenure yet.
Oh yeah, I don't have my tenure yet.
Okay. Anyway, so what have you been up to, Osiris?
Let's just say I've been playing a lot of American Truck Simulator. Lots and lots and lots of American Truck Simulator.
Are you trying to tell us that you want to be a truck driver?
Well, yeah, as long as I don't have to actually drive a truck. So, yes. And, of course, Insurgency with you guys. Yeah, so Insurgency and Truck Simulator. Truck Simulator is my new World of Warcraft. We'll just say that.
And you've been playing World of Warcraft.
And I've been playing World of Warcraft. We're not telling nobody about that.
Well, I've been playing a lot of Saints Row 4. Yeah. It does reasonably well. So. And a little Insurgency every now and then.
Good deal.
So what have you been playing, System?
Well, even though you guys totally think this game is busted as all get out, I've been trying to finish Trine 3 just because it's my kind of game, and I really feel like it's like a bad girlfriend you just can't get rid of, and because you absolutely know it is the most busted shit as all, but you just can't stop yourself. And the game is kind of interesting, and I like playing it. I'm almost done with it. And then I've been playing Insurgency with you hoodlums, and then I've been playing some Minecraft Feed the Beast. That's my other. And then I've been playing this other game but it was mentioned, but we don't talk about it. With Osiris. So. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much what I've been doing.
I have a question. Have you played Trine 1 and Trine 2?
Yes, I have. I've played both of those games.
And you don't think Trine 3 is busted?
Oh, no, I didn't say that. Did I say that? No, I compared it to a bad girlfriend you can't get rid of.
Oh, okay.
And so, no, I'm not saying it's not broke. I'm not saying it's not broke ass. But at the same time, it's fun. I can't help it. I can't help the fact that I actually think it's hilarious when I accidentally kill myself over and over and over again. Especially when you do the same thing 3 times and you know that's insanity, but you do it again and you do it again. And you try to do it with different characters and get yourself stuck, and you have to go back and redo the level again because you got yourself stuck because you didn't actually do it correctly. And there's a couple of levels where you really do need help from other people, but you can figure it out. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a broke-ass game. For me, it's fun, and I actually like the fact I can actually play it. But yeah, anyway, that's just beside the point.
All right.
Okay. Well, uh, our first topic is software piracy hurts Linux adoption. Research finds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So I think this is interesting because in all of the discussions I've heard, and even in my own like caverns of thinking, I have not thought about the fact that piracy hurts Linux. So that everybody's discussed that piracy hurts, corporate software or corporate software models, or music, or any type of enterprise model. But what about open source? And this article goes into the idea that software piracy actually hurts Linux adaptation. Uh, so what do you think about that?
Uh,
First of all,
I would really like to see the number of systems running Windows on the internet as a whole that are pirated copies. I'm willing to bet it's a higher percentage of the total Windows install base than the market share of OS X.
I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in that same mindset, I would also say that you can't look back at any point in time and seeing where Microsoft has been aggressive. Microsoft themselves have been aggressive towards piracy. I would even go so far as to say that Microsoft has been uh, passive proponents of piracy. Because guess what? If you get more people pirating Microsoft Windows, those are going to usually be the quote unquote technical people, and they're going to get other people on Windows. Like Windows 10, for example. Why would they want to thwart piracy? I mean, it's not taking a huge chunk out of their market share. I guarantee that. And then they're data mining your private telemetry and all that the stuff you do when you're looking at porn. So I don't think that Microsoft really cares in that aspect. But I do agree with the article.
I would say that you're kind of on the money there because I can see Microsoft doing this just to widen their install base.
Just to piss off Linux users.
Yeah.
Because they love Linux.
Yeah. System, you got any thoughts?
Well, prospectively, I mean, if I've actually run Windows, I would have to say that 90% of the Windows that I've ever run, I've never actually purchased a copy of Windows myself. It's either been installed on something that I ended up with, like a laptop or something like that. Um, like it's been an OEM copy or anything like that, and of course I've never downloaded or anything like that Windows or anything of that nature because well I don't really care if I don't have to run it I don't run it. So for me I don't really think I think it's kind of it's like a chicken or an egg situation here that maybe the adoption rate for Linux might be larger if there wasn't a thing for piracy, like there wasn't Windows being pirated. Um, but at the same time, when it comes to Windows, Windows piracy is not the same as me copying a movie and uploading it to the internet. It's not the same kind of piracy because with that, with a file that's being shared through torrents or anything of that nature, with Windows, you have a key. An authorization that's required for the activation of Windows, or you have some kind of patch for the enterprise versions. From my understanding, you have like different things that allow for Windows to authenticate so that it functions correctly. When it comes to Windows 10, they're basically just giving it away for free, just quote unquote like how Linux works, to anyone that has a legal copy of Windows. Um, or it's not even they're giving it away for free. They're forcing it down the throats of anyone that has a legal copy of Windows that isn't Windows 10 already. And so, for me, I think that's bad practice. And when it comes to piracy and all of that nature, um, you know, if I have the legal ownership of something and I make a copy of it and I put it on my server, I want to have the rights to that forever. And when it comes to piracy and the software piracy versus Linux adoption, if somebody gave me a free copy of Windows or somebody gave me a free copy of Linux, because of my past and where I come from and what I've seen, for my own thought process and my own privacy concerns, I would take the Linux route or I'd take the BSD route over the Windows route because I don't trust it. And but that's me. That's my own personal opinion on that. And there are a lot of users out there that they're just like, oh, a free copy of Windows, I'll do a free copy of Windows. Versus, oh, a free copy of Linux. Not paying for either one, and I can blame Microsoft if it's broken, but at the same time, if it's a pirated copy, you don't really get the support. They'll just say, hey, $99 and you have a copy or whatever. So just for me, I don't really think I think the article is true, but at the same time, I don't think the article is on the money. I don't think that's really the point that should be made here. I think it's more of if Microsoft really took a stand and really said something about piracy and really did something about piracy of Windows and actually stopped it, they would lose market share because they stopped piracy. And the thing is, for Linux, there's no such thing as piracy in Linux because of the way that we have our licenses set up. It's,
I don't know what you're talking about. I stole all my
as long as
copies
you
of
give
Ubuntu.
credit to.
I stole all my copies.
Well, you
of
didn't really
Ubuntu.
steal it because you were given it.
I would. Hey, look, I went straight to the Pirate Bay.
It was given freely.
And I BitTorrented all of my copies of Ubuntu. That's what pirating is, right? is that what they call pirates?
No.
Oh, damn! I thought I did something smart.
That's not piracy. Piracy is the no. Piracy is the consumption of a good or sharing of a good that is not legally shareable or consumable. So that's piracy. Basically,
I was a hacker.
The idea. No. Piracy actually has to do all the way back in the old days where you had pirates on the sea and they would raid and pillage and destroy and steal any goods.
And it was awesome.
And it was awesome. But that's what they view piracy today is, and it's not the same. Piracy of Windows is not the same as somebody who's a buccaneer and they're going out and they're stealing whiskey and rum and jewels and gold and monetary things, because Windows still gets mind share. They still make money even if the product is pirated.
Well,
that's what people don't understand.
To that note, Ernesto, the author of this Torrent Freak article, says this means that if all piracy was to disappear, the number of Linux users would increase by 50%. While that's an impressive number, the relative impact is modest, and in most countries, Linux is used roughly 1% of the desktop users, which would increase to 1.5%. So, that's what Ernesto says, which I kind of agree with. So, yes, Linux adaptation would go up, but in the grand scheme of things, it's modest. So, right. I don't think Microsoft really gives a shit about piracy. They're on so many desktops, It doesn't fucking matter.
Right, and so as I said, that would be cutting into their profit share. If they don't have people, if they started stopping people from using their products more than they already do, which is stupid, and which I think actually hurts people who legally purchase things more than people that don't. CD keys are stupid, but anyway. Yes, in most cases, it damages more when they go after piracy than it actually does anything for their benefit. So I really don't think they give a shit anymore. So it really goes back to the point of, so what? So what if Linux adoption goes up 50%? 50% for 1% is, just as stated, 1.5%. I mean, that's, now if it was going to go up 250% or 450%, then maybe it might really be something, but Linux adoption is going to be slow and steady as it always is going to be, and that's how it's always been. But it's so there, and it does.
That begs the question. This is what I thought. That begs the question. This is what I've been thinking the whole time. at least in our generation and possibly and probably the next generation, Linux, there is not going to be a year of the Linux desktop. It's just not a thing. There's people.
Come on, man. 1.5% of the desktop. That's the year of the Linux desktop.
I know. I mean, if you've been using Linux since like the late '90s and the 2000s, maybe it is the year of the Linux desktop for you. But in the grand scheme of things, the year of the Linux desktop, I don't think will ever happen. And I say this because it is. Because devices will have moved into a direction where the general and the majority will be using not desktops, possibly even for work. Now, we're not talking about those who do workstation type of stuff or server type of stuff or anything that requires actual heavy lifting. I think there will be a time, I don't know when, this generation, next generation, where people will mostly be using mobile devices because it contains enough processing power to do their jobs. Yeah, and you got the push towards convergence. People plugging in their mobile device into a monitor, and now you have a full desktop. We've seen this with of Ubuntu. You see Microsoft trying to go that direction, kind of, sort of. I'm assuming Apple will try to jump on board. There will come a point where there won't even be really a desktop in the general consumer's mind before Linux becomes the year of the desktop. That's all I'm saying. And you know what? I'm okay with that because guess what? That means more cloud services. And guess what runs on the cloud? More Linux and Ubuntu on top of that.
Oh yeah, but that's a whole thing where Ubuntu is trying to do a whole grab for a whole new portion of the market when it comes to the IBM infrastructure. But again, that's and then Red Hat and all that kind of stuff. But that's beside the point. Are we going to move on to the next?
Yeah, let's do that.
Item.
Let's do it.
Yeah. The next item on the list is Linux usage on Steam continues to fall.
Yeah,
in theory.
So that's a sensationalist title. We'll just go ahead and say that. So basically what the title and the article is trying to imply is that Steam usage is falling. Now, we've talked about this before the show. More me and Atomic did. I'm sure System got plenty to say about this. Why don't you tell us your numbers and your theory about this, Atomic?
Okay, so look at my notes here. In the article, he references that Windows XP has a 2.39% market share. Now, that's Windows XP 32-bit. 64-bit is on there. Well, it was on there in 2013. It's kind of dropped off the list since then. It might not have enough things to not be in the other category. So we'll just look at Windows XP 32-bit. Who in the hell is still running Windows XP 32-bit in 2016?
Great grandma? I don't know.
Wine
Kiosks?
users.
Wine users.
Wine users. Yeah. Because if you're playing a game in Wine that's on Steam, the default is Windows XP 32-bit.
That's my default install.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much when I run Wine. That's pretty much what I'm running it at. I'm not running it at Windows 7 because I've had issues with compatibility with some of the games, and so usually I run it at Windows XP 32-bit because it's the most stable. I would say it's the most stable that works, and it usually has the most supported DLLs in Wine for the games that I want to run. So, yeah, which that does have a lot to say to this too, because if it's like a 2.39%, that's a huge amount.
Right. Numerically, numbers do lie. But we talked about your theory on the growth from 2013 versus the shrinkage of Linux adaptation or Linux usage since now. Tell them about that because I think that's on the money.
Okay, so I picked up this thing on the Wayback Machine. This is from February 9th. Yeah, it looks like February 9th of 2013. And back there, they had a current Steam users online of 3.8 million, with a peak around 5.7 million, which is actually lower than I remembered it. today, let's just, I should have brought that up. Today, 6.7 million with a peak of 12.8. They have more than doubled in the past 3 years in general. And percentage-wise, we have gone from around 1% to 1%. So we have doubled in size, we being the Linux community, on Steam.
So wait.
But
You did actual math there?
yes.
And it makes sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Oh my God. That's incredible. That is fucking incredible. So this author, you're telling me you're accusing this author, a journalist, I use that term loosely, for a PC World, a big website, did not use logic or common sense? Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah. But I don't expect journalists to actually do journalism anymore. That's just like asking bears not to shit in the woods. So,
but journalism, true journalism, isn't clickbait. True journalism doesn't get them clicks. It doesn't get them. It doesn't get the community riled up. It doesn't produce FUD, which makes them money. Because the more people that click on the link and they're like, "Oh my God, Linux, it's failing," blah blah blah, and then the Linux people are like, "Oh my God, fire!" And then we get upset, and then we're all pissed off, and then we say this and this and this and this and this and this, and just as we're doing right now, we talk about this shit. And what does it do? It gets more clicks for them. They make more money. And on this page, I mean, I see, 12 advertisements on this fucking page? They're making 12 advertisements on this fucking page because they put this title. They put this completely clickbait title. Linux usage on Steam continues to fall. That is fucking clickbait title, right? So no, there is going to be no journalistic integrity in this article at all. The number is going to be wrong. They're not going to use math. They're just going to be like, "Oh my God, FUD." And that's the point for this. It's like, then we have to come back and we have to say, no, in 2013, this is the numbers. 2016, this is the numbers. 1% growth is still double the growth because the entire growth is larger.
And then put it in people terms, though. Put that in people terms, though. I don't know how many Linux users there are. We'll just say there's, 30 million. Double that, 60 million. When you're selling a game and your target market is 60 million and you're pretty much guaranteed 1 to 5%, that's a lot of millions. That's a lot of money. And especially
if hundreds of thousands.
We have proved in the past, the Linux community has proved in the past, we will put our money down for shit that we can use. We do it. We prove it.
What would be an interesting stat, though? An interesting stat. How many Linux users actually pirate? Like, actually pirate anything? Well, besides TV shows. That's a given.
Well, okay. I actually have no illegal software, period. All of my software is open source. That's it. Like, everything that I run, every machine that I run, everything that I have, I either have a legal copy for it, specifically for a license, which I, by the way, pay for. I mean, we'll even use this, for example, the software that I really like, the video editor that I like, right? It's a good piece of software, and I've been trying to talk you guys into using it, but you don't like it, it has limitations until you buy the license, right? I have a license for it. It was an open source piece of software that I got for free, downloaded, installed, I loved it. It works. It does the job that I want it to do, but I wanted more features, so I paid the money for it. It's totally worth it. Absolutely, completely worth it.
What are we talking about here?
He's talking about Lightworks.
That's not open source. It works on open source, but yeah. Semantics.
Okay. Semantics aside, it is software that works on Linux.
Right.
And it works well on Linux.
I give it to you. It is great. It's great.
And it's worth using. And okay, so but point it this way. My point is I paid to have it, right? I mean, I could use it for free, and they have that ability. I just have to log in with a username and do stupid stuff. But other than that, simply it works, okay? But then I bought a license because I wanted more features because there were other things that I wanted to be able to use. And there's other software that I have purchased. There are other things that I use that I'm willing to pay for. But here's the thing with the open source community, if I don't want to pay for it right now and they have a testing version, I can run the testing version for free and use it, and it works. And that's what I like about it. It's like the old freeware model that was back in the day. You try something out, it worked, people made lots of money. I mean, id Software made shit tons of money back in the day with Doom because it was fucking freeware and everybody wanted it and everyone wanted to share it and people paid for it. Now, some people made bad decisions and made it to where it was completely free. You could unlock stuff. But the point is, they still made money. It's the same kind of concept today. Still goes to the same concept with Linux. I'm willing to buy games on Steam that I want to play. I have bought games on Steam that I want to play that'll play on Linux. Like right now, I'm looking at a game. Right now, I don't really want to know if I want to drop down the amount of money that it's going to cost. But I've talked and I've made discussions, and I may drop my $30 down and buy this game because I want to play with my friends and I want to try it out. And it's a really cool game. But again, that goes back to the point of there are games that are worth it, that are worth buying. There are software that's worth buying. We are willing to put our money where our mouth is. We do it. We've proven it. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'll get off my softbox. I put it out there. But yeah, I go back to Atomic's thing that a lot of the Windows XP 32-bit, I really think that is wine users. I really do think. And if that was calculated and they were able to check for that and really see if it's actually wine users.
No, they are able to check for that.
I mean, that would
It's funny you should say that.
Okay.
If you launch Steam in Wine, right under the Windows version, it shows the Wine version, and it's not like it's pulling it in by accident. It says, "Here's the Windows version, colon, the number. Here's the Wine version, colon, the number." So it actually knows that it's running in Wine. Steam should absolutely be separating that out in the hardware survey.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry.
But it's not just going to be Windows XP. When I've set up some games in Play on Linux, which makes a separate wine thing for each game, I've had several games that want to run on Vista, and I've had several that want to run on 7. So we might be looking at a lot higher percentage playing over there in that 7 category as well.
Which could be totally true. I mean, we could be dealing with the fact that, yeah, the percentages that we're dealing with, because there are games that we can't play because they're not native, but we want to play them because, well, they're there, and we're still playing them on Linux, and we're still dealing with the Linux tax, and we're running it ourselves, but we're not being categorized. So I think the percentage of the native games and running native Linux, Steam, is there, and so we're still showing a consistent growth. We're not really decreasing our growth because we're still around 1%. We've always been kind of around 1%, but we're Linux users. We're not Mac users. If we want to do something,
we have real computers.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I was looking at some of the settings. Our average RAM on a Linux rig, the average, and if you look at the settings, and you bring this up a comic, go to the just the Linux version, just the Linux portion of the thing for the current, and look how much RAM an average Linux rig has on it.
Besides the RAM,
and
when
if
you talk about gaming,
the top right there, just go up to it's at the top actually. It just select only Linux.
Besides the RAM, if you look at just the GPU usage, I don't know what the stat says.
It's that top, yeah, that.
I don't know.
And then just go to Linux. Now look at how much RAM our average user for Linux.
12 gigs and higher.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Average user, right? Look at our bandwidth. The average Linux user has a higher bandwidth than even Windows. Everything. If you just look at Linux, most of the Linux users, their machines are more powerful than most of the Windows machines. So we're willing to spend fucking money. It's not that we're not willing to spend money.
Intel HD 4000 is still like the most popular graphics card.
That's just normal. But if you look at the most popular games in Steam, that's to be expected. You talk about Dota, you talk about CS:GO, you're talking about even League of Legends, which is not on Steam, which can be run in wine, I guess. I don't know. You're talking about games that don't require a lot of graphics power, though.
But I just think it's funny that, but overall, our hardware, on average, is actually, we are willing to spend more money on hardware because we don't have to spend that extra $100, $200 for a license. We just run our Linux, and then we do whatever the hell we want, and we spend more money other places. And but we're willing to sacrifice that extra Linux tax on system performance because we got the system to perform it. I mean, that's kind of also that point. But anyway, I'm sorry. I put us off on another tangent. But I just wanted to say that there are things there. We are what we are. We do what we do. And we're loud, proud, Linux users. Whatever.
And on that note, we can all agree that we like Insurgency. Even Atomic likes Insurgency. And he's not even an FPS guy. So
you kind of got your hooks in me.
Then next it'll be World of Warcraft, but that's a different story. We'll talk about that later. Okay, Insurgency, the good folks.
Oh, we'll get you.
The good folks over at Insurgency have announced a new game, Insurgency Sandstorm. Now, what makes this game special is they're going to move from the Source 2 engine, I believe it is, to the UT4 engine. So, same great game, all new, beautiful, is what you can expect. And you can pretty much expect it to be on Linux also, with along with Windows. If you look at the screenshots there, they're just gonna make. So what I think they're gonna do is they're gonna make Insurgency 1.5. It's not gonna be a totally different game. It's gonna be just Insurgency, but much more better, much more beautiful, and some extra content. I'm ready for this. But then, how many games do we have? How many games do we actually have with the Unreal Engine 4 that's even out?
There's not very many out on any platform.
Right.
It's just it's still a little too new for unless somebody was developing in UE 3.5 and just decided, let's switch over the engine. Probably not going to see too many games for at least another year.
Yeah, so they're promising this in 2017. They're not giving any quarters or any timeline or anything. It just says PS4, Xbox One, Windows OS X, and Linux in 2017. And if there's anybody that I believe that will do it, it'll be New World Interactive. That's the developers of Insurgency. They have been super receptive to our input on the Linux side. And I've even talked to some the developer myself. So, I mean, this is a pretty small band of people. And I definitely support this. And they're also trying to go the way of esports. They're building their esports framework now, as I've heard from several people. So I definitely support this. If CS:GO is not your thing and you want a more, I guess, tactical way of playing your game and be esports, this is it as a Linux user. I don't think there's anything better.
Okay.
All right. I smell a Reddit. I smell a Reddit post. What are we up to next?
Yes, Reddit, which you should take with not just grains of salt. You should probably take with cups of salt, because it's Reddit.
just go drink some seawater.
There you go. There's a guy named AMD Robert from AMD, of course.
No,
who did
I thought he was from NVIDIA.
Well, you know how it is these days. People are sleeping with people. Things get mixed up. Lines get crossed. But this guy is from AMD. And he did an AMA, which is an Ask Me Anything on Reddit. Now, the reason I think this is interesting, Reddit curates its posts within within a post by popularity. If you actually do a search for Linux in this post from the AMD Robert guy, a lot of the top posts are Linux questions, which should be a signal to AMD. Hey, look, guys, you have a lot of Linux support. Duh. What's going on? And I read through this post, and I read every single one of the Linux posts. And this guy obviously does not know a lot about Linux or the development in-house from Linux, which every single time he pretty much refers back to a guy named, what's his name?
AMD Roy?
No, hell no. Graham Sellers, who is the OpenGL and Vulkan guru at AMD. So you can go check him out. I think I put the link. Maybe nah, I don't know. Just Google Graham Sellers. You'll find his Twitter account. But he is the guy who does the Linux things at AMD. He said some interesting things. He said some interesting things in the AMA. But there's nothing solid, and as usual, and he doesn't know a lot as usual. But they are putting out. The one thing I did take away is they are putting out a driver that's not months away, weeks away. So maybe that would tell me that there would be Vulkan support for GCN. What is it? 1.3, 1.2 coming out soon. And according to Graham Sellers, there will also be Vulkan support for GCN 1.0, which means all the R9 series video cards, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong there. Interesting stuff, though. AMD is the forerunner in the Vulkan technology, I think. So it would be on them to get their things running.
Okay, not forerunner. They're the inventors of Vulkan, and then they basically abandoned it. Anyway, I don't know. I am not super optimistic. I mean, I do have a solo AMD rig and I'm not super optimistic about the support coming anytime soon. I'm probably looking 2 to 3 months out before I think it's really going to be viable. Even if they do come out with an actual driver in a week or two, I don't think it's going to be viable. I hate to sound like a Debbie Downer, but I'm just not.
Hold on, let me give the audience an interesting footnote. This is our AMD. What do we call him on topic? Our AMD what? Yeah, you have better analogies than me. He is our what?
I don't know.
He is our AMD fanboy at LTG. Him and
I am not a
okay.
fanboy. I am not a fanboy.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I will look at it this way. Normally, so technically, I am the AMD apologist for LTG. But I'm gonna be real with you. They didn't get their shit together when Vulkan was released. They're behind. They're still gonna be behind, and I would be surprised. I don't have hope right now that they're going to be where they need to be, because they can't even get their crap together for Windows right now. There's still some issues, and so I don't think we're going to have Linux support where it needs to be when it needs to be there. Now, I could be pleasantly surprised. Like, I can open up a box of a driver, and that driver could be, amazing. But after the last driver that I saw that came out, there is no things for it.
Well, there you have it, folks.
So,
our
anyway,
AMD apologist can't even apologize for this. But anyways, moving along.
I've said before, and I will say it again. Release your complete hardware specifications in open source. The community will write the driver, and you won't have to have any staff to worry about it.
True story. Apparently, there's supposed to be some secret Mojo code in there, and it's going to leak all their secrets, and they can't do that, blah, blah, blah. NDAs and secrets and corporate bullshit. But whatever. Let's talk about some Hitman Go.
Oh, you mean this
Uh,
mobile game?
this mobile game. I don't even know. Like, it's Hitman. It's on Linux. Should we be excited? Looks like some cardboard game. Looks like somebody took a. Remember those panoramas you used to do in high school for science class? It looks like one of those. I guess. It's a thing. It's a thing for somebody. At least we have a Hitman Go. So I guess you guys could check it out. You got notes in the somewhere down below description. Maybe you can go check it out if you want. Not my thing. I don't think people buy 780s, 980s, 970s to play Hitman Go. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm gonna say no. But good try. Good try, guys. Let's move it along. Let's see. So we have a new game engine called Godot. No, game engines are.
It's actually Godot. It's French.
So like Mate and Gnome.
Yeah.
You people.
Like that.
Okay, first of all, Gnome. Fuck you, Osiris. And it's not Gnome. Damn it. Anyway, whatever. It's not Godot.
We'll just go with Godot.
Godot.
I'm a bite. I'm gonna call it Godot. Okay, Godot.
That's fine.
It is a game engine like Unreal Engine and Unity. You know, your favorite games that are currently on Linux are probably on Unreal Engine or Unity for the most part. Yeah, this is another one, but this one sets itself apart from the others because it is free completely and open source under the MIT license. Yes, you heard it. This is a free and open source game engine. Not only that, I have learned today, which I don't have in front of me, which game it is, that they already have games on Steam that actually use this. So, this might be a thing, maybe. I mean, because you got people out there who are basically using Unity to flip assets, make crap ass games, and blah 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 blah. Who's to say that let's just say you get a whole bunch of people who do the same with this thing, but with any percentage or number of people who are doing that, you might have a couple of people who are actually making real games. I want to see people make real games with free and open source engines. I don't know the capabilities of this. I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer. I have no fucking clue. But I'm sure somebody does. And then somebody's gonna bite on this. This looks legit. At least from the screenshots.
What we need to do is we need to make the LTG video game.
The LTG what now?
Video game.
You mean the train wreck?
I don't
Yes.
I don't want to copy the other guys, in their video game that they're creating.
No, I
But,
mean a video
It's
game.
not gonna be copying. If it's about LTG, it's gonna be a complete train wreck. It's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, probably. Lots of explosions. And more explosions.
Not
We
not
gotta
not
have
of material
explosion.
things. It's probably of people exploding.
The explosions are they weren't designed into the game.
No refunds.
What do you mean they wanted to design into the game?
No
Really?
refunds.
No
All right.
refunds.
Nothing's supposed to be exploding.
Godot or Godot, you people, go check it out. Especially if you're a developer, please. But let's go on to New Doom. Game appears to be working great in line with zero configuration. Now, in case people don't know, there was a Doom 4 that had been slated to be released. According to developers, the new Doom 4 was not as good. It was not in the traditional sense of Doom. So they scrapped it, started back over, and called it just Doom. And now you have Doom coming out, I think 2017. I might be wrong there. But there's alpha versions out in the wild, actually. So a Reddit user named Browser Koopa, good on you.
Bowser Koopa.
Yeah, I like that. He's trolling at his best. But it is Reddit, though. But, so he has he got the alpha version. I don't know how you get the alpha version. I guess you can Google that. But he had it, and he got it working under Wine staging 1.91, which is pretty much the latest version of Wine, if I remember correctly. Ran it without any configuration. That means he did not install any DLL or any type of extra stuff in Wine. And he says it's buttery smooth with his GTX 970. Only thing that was sort of an issue was VSync. Whatever. We can get over that. So that means that, so in case people don't know, Doom is it is all of the time built on OpenGL. Doom has always used OpenGL. And I'm assuming this Doom also uses OpenGL. So that means that this game runs out the box on Wine, no problems at all. Is that the best method? Probably not. But for those who are willing to use Wine, I guess it works. All you have to do is set up a clean 64-bit Wine prefix, run the installer, install the game, and you're good to go to play some Doom.
Well, back in the day, Doom actually ran under Linux, and it ran under BSD. Like the original Doom games, like
all the
you could actually
software
run them natively. There were actual, So pretty much, this is just normal. This is a normal thing, and 10-to-1, I bet you could probably get the binary sets in place to actually run the game, and I bet they will probably have the binary sets to run in Linux. Because I would not be surprised if you don't have that ability. The fact that it's just running directly in Wine means there isn't a lot of extra overhead in place. And if they're running natively in OpenGL, that means they would be able to release a on-day release in Linux. Which, I wouldn't put it past them.
This is why there won't be a Linux release. I'm going to tell you why there won't be a Linux release. Because this game is not a real id Software game. The real id Software has been disbanded many years ago. This game is actually being published by Bethesda, who has publicly and shamelessly, upon over and over, said, Linux? No. What the hell is that? We got no time for that shit. Bethesda is not a friend of Linux. And I don't see them no time being a friend of Linux. So you take that for what it's worth, maybe. But at least they made it with OpenGL and kept to the original id Software.
But here's the thing with that. Even if they're not a friend of Linux, they use technologies that are Linux friendly. I mean, even if it's unintentional, even if it's not on purpose, even if the engines that are built were specifically designed in such a way that they used OpenGL versus DirectX. And I know why they did it back in the day, because DirectX was shit, and that's a whole other can of worms. But OpenGL, I don't know. I mean, I would actually like to see if the game is going to be compliant with Vulkan in the future, because it already is OpenGL. So let's see if it's going to become Vulkan compliant and see where it goes with that.
That's a good point. I just don't see Bethesda personally supporting the Linux people. Now, if it just happens to do so, the Linux people will get it working. If it starts to make waves on Linux, or say Steam OS, that's why we need Steam machines to be successful, then yes, I think they will wholeheartedly do it. So, there we go. Doom, whatever, kind of like Xbox One. We just don't know. Coming to a platform near you, but in Wine. All right, so what we got next?
Well, we have the round table, but I'm not sure about the round table.
Yeah, so what is the round table? We're going to wing it. True LTG style.
The round... It's the state of gaming peripheral support under Linux, and to be honest with you, I don't really care about anything but a keyboard.
This dude
mouse.
Right here, man.
I don't care if I have a controller. I don't.
Everything is busted. Everything is on fire. It is all burning to the ground.
Let's break to Atomic, the guy who buys all the fucking things all the fucking time. What is your take on the gaming peripheral?
Okay.
Like, just show some of the BS that you have for no reason.
Okay, so I've got the standard wired Xbox controller, and this has been working pretty well for a while. But I'll tell you something that's really just pissing me off lately is keyboards. I have 2 Poker 3s and 2 Corsair K65s. And all 4 of these things fuck with my desktop whenever I plug them in. And it's not even sensical fuckery. It disables mouse clicking in my window manager.
Well, that's not good.
See, that's why I just run really old keyboards and don't give a shit.
Okay, so
I don't have all that extra
you gotta
crap
understand though.
That's all that. I just have a keyboard that does the job, is loud as fuck, and just does what it's supposed to do.
I mean, you got younger crowd on board. You got gamers on board, and the other sort. And if gaming is your full-time hobby, then you buy gaming equipment, right? So this is why I thought this was important. Gamers don't buy your Logitech, regular Logitech $10 mouse from Walmart. They want specifics, a specific sensor in your mouse, specific types of mice, keyboards that have the clickety-clackety things. Yes, your old school keyboard has the clickety-clacketies. What is it? Is it swaggerific?
Yeah, see, I was meta. Okay, I was fucking meta before clickety-clacks were actually clickety-clacks, all right? I was using a clickety-clack keyboard before it was
coming
in, all right? So, yeah, see that? Fuck that. Fuck that. But the point being on this is that I look at it this way. Okay, so this is me getting the kids off my fucking lawn, right? There are kids out there that have these fucking neckbeards, and they think they're all that and a bag of chips, and they're like, I got my Cherry MX keys, and I got my blah, 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 blah. You know what? I have a keyboard that's older than you, all right? That fucking works, and it works to this day, and it's fucking awesome. And you know what? I can take this keyboard apart, and I can clean it out, and I can use it, and you know what? I even have a keyboard fucking condom for it, all right? I don't have to worry about any chips in it. I don't have to worry about all that shit. It just works, and it does the job. And it does keyboard it every day, and it annoys the fuck out of them when I'm going clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack all the time. But it works, all right? It's an amazing keyboard. It's an IBM keyboard, and they're the best damn keyboards you can muck. And they're expensive, too, still. Oh, anyway, but that's not the point. The point that I was about to make was...
Does it have RGB lighting, bro?
This is my beautiful... No, I don't fucking want RGB lighting, right? I don't want no... fucking lights on my keyboard. I don't want to have to worry about aliens coming down and stealing the goddamn thing. Look, this is the mouse that I use. It's beautiful. There are many like it.
What is that?
But this one is mine. It is a G series. It's a Logitech G series mouse that is branded QuakeCon branded mouse. You know, beautiful QuakeCon branded mouse. But I use it so much that it has a
G400S?
I don't know, but it's amazing, and I love it. Fuck it.
G400.
Let me see.
I mean, I understand. I even put loose feet on my mice. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have nice shoes on your mice. There's a video on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, but the thing is that I have 3 mice. I have the original one. That's the original. Before they put the new logo on it, the original logo, the old Logitech. I mean, I have that one, and then I have this one, and then I have a couple others that are my favorite, and then I have a black one over here that sits. But the point being is, I love the Logitech. I just
get the Myonix Naos.
So we pretty much all have. Yeah. So the point is that I want a mouse that feels good in my hand. I don't want a mouse that's a flimsy little thing with too many fucking buttons. I want a mouse that feels good in the hand, you know? That when the ladies put their hand on it, they're just like, oh my god, that is a fucking mouse. Right? That's what I like, right? That is the kind of mouse I want. And it's the same with my keyboard. I want it to have heft. I want to be fucking typing on my keyboard. I don't want it moving all over the desk. I don't want to have to duct tape it to the table.
This Naos has some heft to it, but I would really like to have a mouse that's like actually made of aluminum. Like the whole thing's just made of aluminum. Like it has actual heft. if I hit somebody in the head with it, it would kill them. That kind of theft.
So I'm not gonna ever come visit you. Because you're probably gonna murder me with it. But my keyboard has fucking heft too. I mean, my keyboard is nice. I can't even pick the keyboard up because it's like so fucking big. It's just like it's so fucking big.
We can all agree that keyboards made in the 80s can murder people. I think we're there.
Oh, my keyboard could probably be used as a blunt object and still function the next day. But the point being that I put it this way, they don't make shit like they used to. Like, to be honest with you, kids off the lawn kind of situation, they don't make keyboards. That's the issue that Atomic's dealing with right now. He's got these keyboards, he paid good money for them, and now they're broken.
Let me interject
now
there. Let me interject there. Crap. So, yes, I've been researching keyboards for quite a while now. Yes, get off my lawn. See, but I'm not as old as these old ass people. Maybe I am, but that doesn't matter. but so
yeah, you're older than both of us. All right.
Whatever. I got way more swag. It's all right. But hey, look, I've been checking out the keyboards, and yeah, you're right. So there's a disparity, a gap, a crevasse between gaming stuff and Linux stuff. Linux stuff. So Rocat actually supports officially, but not officially. So unofficially, Linux gaming. They have, according to some guys I know, they have a full-time developer who gets stuff directly from Rocat, and they write Linux drivers for that stuff that enables all their features. So if you have a keyboard that has breathing lights or whatever it may be, multimedia keyboards, macro keys, and all that stuff on Rocat, all works. Mice on Rocat, all work. The switchable keys and the lighting effects on mice on Rocat work because they unofficially support this guy who does the open source stuff. I guess drivers or software support for Rocat. That is the only company I have found that has supported, I guess, Linux gaming. Now, there's other things out there. So the Corsair K70, I think it is, has the non-RGB one. You can control the lights through hardware switch, meaning that you can dim them and make them bright and do all the things and set up all your stuff through hardware. That works. Now you have some stuff that is on mass drop that is completely hardware controlled, but they're not what we Americans would call name brand, right? So there's not the Logitech, it's not the Corsair, it's not.
It's Royal Kludge, I believe, is the one you're looking at, and that's one of the accepted name brands in the boutique keyboard category.
Okay, say I don't know that because I'm not part of the boutique peoples. I am strictly the gaming peoples. So yeah, and you're right. So I have noticed Royal Kludge or however you pronounce it, and they have RGB keyboards that are completely hardware controlled, meaning that you plug them into a Linux box. Everything that is operational or functional upon that keyboard works on the keys, and so that means all the RGB lighting effects, all the macros, whatever they advertise as working, works from that keyboard, from the whatever processor they have working in that keyboard. That's a good thing. And they're not overly expensive either. So you got that. That's an option. But outside of that, the mainstream gaming keyboards I would stay away from. Because Razer, and even though I'm a Logitech fanboy, who else? Almost all of them, except for maybe Cooler Master, have built-in software that you must have to get working. Now, if you're the type of person who likes to slit your wrist just a little bit, you can get one of these mainstream keyboards and load up a VM, our virtual machine running Windows. Set up your keyboard, and usually they have onboard memory, so they just work afterwards. And that's just too much work for me personally for the amount of money that it costs. So
I will personally say to stay away from the Corsair RGB keyboards. They have onboard memory. You can put the profiles on the keyboard and take it between systems. So you'd think that would work with Linux. No. not so much. The software actually controls the key lighting on the RGB keyboards.
Ouch.
Yeah, so before you even boot into Windows, it's like stuck in a default pattern.
Well, that sucks. So we have a ways to go.
And Corsair in general, keyboards have been problematic because they have N key rollover, and I am assuming that the way that they do this, I haven't checked into this, is they have a hub in there, and it emulates however many different keys to get pseudo N key rollover, because I don't think it's full N key rollover. But that hub acts up with Linux at times, and I can't get it to be consistent. And then it just works perfectly fine when the switch is set to BIOS when I run it on the FreeBSD machine over here.
Okay, so
as I said, gaming.
Here comes the old man.
Gaming peripherals. Gamer peripherals on Linux are bullshit because they don't care. They don't care. They don't really give a shit. Like
I would argue
they
that.
Just,
I would
all
argue
they
that.
want is they want to sell their pretty things. They just want to sell their pretty things to the Windows people. That's what they want to do. That's the mass market they're looking at. That's the support market they're going to support. So buy the hardware that fits you. Don't buy the hardware because it's shiny. Don't buy the hardware because it's pretty, because it's $50 to $100 to $1,000.
Hold on. Let me interject there. So we want to entice, say, interested Linux or interested gamers to Linux. Those who are saying, "Oh, I saw Linux. I don't know what it is, but I think I might want to try this." Right? But I am a gamer. So I play gamer things. I do gamer things. I buy gamer stuff. So, okay. So what we need to do, what I want to do is know that my cool gamer stuff works. What I'm willing to sell my old gamer stuff if you tell me what new gamer stuff works.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what we covered. You talked about a product that is supported. It's not officially supported by the company that says, "Oh yeah, we are Linux support," but they do unofficially have somebody that does the support that's required. And
there's a caveat.
May not be mainstream,
but there's a caveat though. Okay, so it is not a cheap product. This is not no Taiwanese or Chinese piece of crap hardware. This is
that's what I was saying.
It's German. And it's expensive. It's like expensive compared to even Corsair.
I know. That's why I was stating what I was stating. I was saying, don't buy the hardware because it's expensive. Don't buy the hardware because of this or that. Buy the hardware that you want. Buy the hardware that does what you want and how you want it to work. And if your Crusader is not going to work, and if your Logitech's not going to work, and it's not going to do what you want, buy something that's worth investing in. A good keyboard should last you 10 years. A good quality gaming keyboard, a keyboard that has a value, something that you're spending money on should have value for you. It should be something that you want to use. I mean, that's why I am old man Lon about my IBM keyboards, because they're fucking awesome. And they may be old, but they do the job, and they do the job well. But at the same time, if I had a product today, if I had a product today that did what I wanted in games, that was better than the keyboard that I purchase, that I use, then I would buy that product. But I really, even with the product that you're talking about, I just don't feel comfortable with that product being what I'm expecting it to be. I don't know if the quality, in my opinion, is there. For the price, it might be. But again, that's the thing for me. I want something like, for me, if I'm going to have RGB lights on a keyboard, I want to be able to control them from the keyboard. Like, I want to be able to turn it on and off. I want to be able to set it from the keyboard itself and not have to deal with a piece of software on any operating system.
Let me give you my findings between keyboard and mice. Let's start with other peripherals, like monitors and stuff. So G-Sync and Async are supposed to work.
I will be able to tell you about G-Sync probably in our next show.
Here comes this hardware snob with his bullshit.
So next one.
I have a PG279Q that's going to be here tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you all about 165 hertz. Tell you all about G-Sync.
This guy. Okay, okay, you have a 980 Ti, right?
Yes.
You have a 4K monitor, right?
Yes.
You have what is this? What monitor is this? What resolution?
It's the PG279Q. It is a 1440p monitor that runs at 165 hertz.
And what games do you play?
Insurgency. That will run at 165 hertz.
This guy's a hardware snob at his best.
Team Fortress 2 will run at 165 hertz.
Hardware snob.
Guaranteed.
Hardware snob. All right, yeah.
I am a serious snob.
Yeah.
You can all bow down.
For
you
the
know what?
last 2 years I've known you, that I can attest to that. No, System has some serious hardware also. I'll give him that. He has multitudes of serious hardware because of his profession, but
so I bow to no man. I bow to no man because I would pit my hardware to your hardware, and you and I have to discuss this. I have more hardware than you, but I would say the machine that you currently run is pretty hefty and it is pretty nice, and I will give you that. But the thing is, I'm too fucking blind, so the screen resolution that you want to use, just no.
So
I
would say that
so I have big icons.
I would say that you have more raw amounts of hardware than he has. I would say that from enthusiast, like throw down money on one single project hardware gaming type style, Atomic got you beat.
Yeah,
I think I would say that. Yeah. From a gaming perspective, Atomic has ridiculous amounts of stupid stuff for no reason at all. Though that's what kills me. That's what burns me inside. Like there's no fucking reason for this shit.
Where's my troll face, Jeff?
Yes, we need that because that shit just make no sense.
It makes plenty of sense. What are you talking about?
No. I mean, I understand. No. I totally understand why he has a single rig that does everything. And he runs Arch, so he has a single rig that does everything. But there are things he still has to do third party, which still, because ZFS is still not supported well under Linux, and I've tried it under Ubuntu, so it's not quite there yet. So you still have to have the FreeBSD system. So, and I'll give him that. He and I both have a FreeNAS, and he and I both have different pieces of equipment. But when it comes specifically to certain tasks, he's able to do everything on a single system and do it well. And I will give him that. I purposely and preferably have separate machines that do specific tasks because I want to be able to turn them off and not have them on when I'm not doing those tasks. I want to be able to power them off and not use electricity when I'm not doing
turn
the
stuff
task.
off. He can't even turn off the 100+ tabs he got running at one time. He is not turning shit off ever.
Exactly. So
we're gonna have an intervention for Atomic,
but that's
because it's ridiculous. How much RAM do you have?
32
Atomic.
Gigs. If
and how much does Chrome take up?
Greater than 16 gigs.
Yeah. See, we need to have an intervention for Atomic because he's doing it over the top.
So it's not just that I have 100 tabs in Chromium. I have that. I have Chrome Stable. I have Chrome Beta. That's two different browsers there.
You sick person.
I have Opera. I have Vivaldi. I have Firefox. And yeah, those are all the ones I use on a regular basis.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and at the same time, he's running OBS right now, and he's doing the whole broadcasting piece for us anyway. So
At
the proof
4K.
is in the pudding. And we got completely off of the topic of what. Yes, at 4K, right? But I'm too fucking blind to be able to do it at 4K. So I need multiple 1080 monitors. I need multiple pieces of machinery to do multiple things, and they do it well. I will put it this way. It's good that what he's able to do with what he's got, and it's good. He invested in a single machine that does everything, but he has all of his eggs in one basket. So if his system goes down, he's screwed. At least if one of my systems go down, I have the ability to float.
I'll give you that because that's pretty much where I'm at. I spent stupid amounts of money for water cooling and all kinds of stuff. And if this system dies, well, you know what? I'll see you guys in a couple of months. Done. I get
right.
That.
Well, so if I have, as we had to discuss this before, so my AMD rig went down. So I was able to switch over to my work rig. I was able to do everything on my work rig. I literally just took the hard drive out of the AMD rig and put it in my work rig, and I was able to do what I needed to do. I was able to play. I was able to keep going. And then as soon as I got all the components I needed to get the AMD rig back up, I was able to put the drive back in it, and off we were ready to go back to the races. So that's why I run separate machines to do separate tasks in case I need to float, right? So I'm, but again, for work, I have to have a computer that always runs. So I have multiple computers. When it comes to controllers and mice and all of that stuff, I like everything to be sort of uniform. And so that's why I pick something and use something that does everything uniform. So anyway, I guess we have tangented enough. Are we going to wrap this up?
So
did we cover everything we're trying to cover?
On that note, so what I would like to say to the people is, it's going to require a little bit of research on your part. If you don't understand what it is that does or does not work on Linux, you go ahead, feel free, absolutely free to hit one of us up on Twitter. That is at, I think, no, it's not. Yeah, it is below us. At System.
Yeah.
At the Atomic Gas or at Osiris. And we'll try to help you as best as we possibly can because there is some caveats, there's some gotchas. Some things do work, some things don't work. But the only way we can make more things work is if we all universally support the free and open source software solution. So on that note, what you got, Atomic?
Just check us out at linuxtechandgaming.com. You can see the. I can contort my finger the right direction. I don't.
It's a beautiful website.
Right. System viewpoint, right below. yeah, down there. Linux Tech and
Not in my pants.
we can't see your pants like that. But yeah, go here. We got a blog. We got game reviews. About us, contact us, whatever.
Tutorials.
Yeah,
things.
Tutorials. News, but that hasn't been updated forever.
Yeah, we really need to do that, but we just haven't.
Yeah. But yeah, go there. And then, I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Peace.